Look who has graduated to being out in the pasture all by himself without a babysitter. So Voodoo is really reaching another level of maturity. Certainly not mature by any means, but he's reaching another level of maturity. Now that his weather buddy has gone home, he's kind of almost instantaneously matured to a buck. Now, that doesn't mean he's ready to be put in the breeding program or anything else. What it means is he's behaving a little bit more like a mature, independent goat instead of a baby, which sort of breaks my heart a little bit because I like him being a baby. He has also developed the worst fainting, which is so weird because his mom doesn't faint at all. Phineas hardly ever faints. So why, he's a big fainter is beyond me, but he faints all the time. He faints when I feed him food. He faints when I come to say hi. It could just be, his maturing process. We'll see. But he's definitely a fainter. And as you can tell, he's smart enough. Like his pasture, their pasture, is nice and shady in the morning, unlike some of the other pastures that are in bright sun. But his pasture is really nice shade, but even he's smart enough to stay really kind of in the deep shade. The other boys are in the barn where the fans are running. I lost him. There he is. I did get a comment the last time I mentioned barn fans, and it was, it kind of took me aback a little bit, right? Because I forget that people don't know how much I do to try and keep, look at all the pretty flowers back here, to try and keep our farm in balance with the environment, to try and be sustainable, to try and do things that are better for nature than not. There's Phineas, there's Thorn. They need groomed, but it's just far too hot. They're due for grooming this weekend, and maybe if I'm lucky, I'll be able to get them done on Sunday if the heat breaks. Otherwise, it may be another one of those work week things, but that's an aside. Anyway, the comment I got was, barn fans better have solar. Oh, okay, yeah, I get it. You're right. They use energy. And I don't necessarily like wasting energy, but this is not a waste of energy. This is something that's really required to keep the animals healthy and happy. And it's not, we don't use the barn fans all the time. I use them only when the temperatures are going to be above 80. And even then, only when the humidity is combined to make the feels like temperature be miserable. I mean, it's hot. You can see Phineas they don't pant, but he's breathing heavy. And that's just heat. He's fine, all right? I promise you, he's not in any distress, but he's hot. And I'm hot. It's hard to breathe out here when it's this way. So yeah, I'm going to run barn fans. Just like I'm going to run lights at night so that I can see what I'm doing and then turn the lights off. We turn the fans off as soon as we possibly can because energy is expensive, number one. And number two, no, I don't want to be wasting energy. But for anybody that's going to look at me, look at what we do, look at how we try and balance our footprint on this earth with our protection of nature and wildlife, and kind of complain about me having barn fans running is impressive. So, guys, if you're new here, feel free to check out any of the older videos. I've done a few playlists. The history of the farm is a good one. There's always the Meet the Goats playlist where I talk about the individual goats and our breeding program and philosophies. The history of the farm is kind of our philosophy of how we set this up, how we balance the environment and nature with our needs for the farm. And, this is back here is a good example, right? We let every place that we can let go wild, we let it go wild, especially at this time of the year, so that our pollinators can be here. that are birds, bugs, bees. Everybody has a place to be. In fact, there's a bunch of bumblebees hanging out now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to zoom in close enough on them. But we've got butterflies and bumblebees. Let's see if I can catch one without driving you completely insane. But, you know, the birds I've showed you, right? We do everything we can to give back to the environment, despite the fact that we are a livestock farm and we have to raise healthy, happy animals. So I just want to remind you, since that comment came in, and we do have a lot of new subscribers that may not know and may not see what we do here. We are, you know, we're not perfect by any means, but we certainly do the best that we can to balance our impact on this earth and give back more than we take. We've built environments for the wildlife. We work to keep our farm woodlands management certified. In fact, I have that happening this weekend, so that's one of those updates I owe you. You know, we've been state inspected for that, right? We really do try and be good stewards. And it hurts me deeply when an assumption goes out that we're not. Again, we're not perfect by any means. There's a butterfly. And it's gone. We're not perfect by any means. And I don't try to profess that we're perfect. What I try to profess is that we do what I think is best at this point, and as what I think is best changes, we modify and make improvements. I'm trying to catch the bumblebees, but they're really on the move today. So anyway, that is my mini TED Talk as I stand here melting on why we run barn fans, and I don't feel guilty about it at all. So I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, go ahead, give me a like, give me a subscribe. Tell me what you think we can do to improve. I'm open for all and every bit of improvement suggestions you've got. And believe me, I take them to heart, and I do make changes. I do listen. If you see something or hear something and you think we can do it better, tell me about it. I will listen, assess, and if it makes sense, implement. All right? But until next time, here's some pretty wildflowers for you. And I've got work to do. Bye for now.